to be addressed as well. The main reason that I rise, Cathaoirleach, is my colleague and the leader of the Fianna Fáil group over a number of months has been raising an issue relating to Irish vaccination awareness, specifically the Gardasil injection, which is given to young girls between 12 and 17, ostensibly to help them avoid contracting cervical cancer in their later years. However, we met with a group who have now formed themselves into a support group, and I would recommend anybody who's listening that they would go online to www.regret.ie, where you will hear testimonials from girls who have had this vaccination here in Ireland and also internationally on a website called sanevax.org, sanevax.org. And the reason that I'm bringing it up here is that I'm serving notice that we in the Fianna Fáil side of the House intend formulating a motion to put before the House to invite Minister Leo Varadkar, who has refused to meet with this support group, that they would come before the House and he will explain national policy in relation to this vaccination process. At the time of vaccination, and here's my key point, Cathaoirleach, the HSE does not provide the patient information leaflet to parents which accompanies this medication and says to tell your healthcare provider if you experience any of the following known side effects. There are 21 side effects. And what I have got here are testimonials from young girls between 12 and 17 across Ireland who have been confined to their beds, who are in psychiatric units of our hospitals, who are suffering from almost terminal fatigue, who have had their football and sporting careers, fledgling careers, disrupted to the point where they can no longer play games, and where they are confined to beds, all because of this vaccination. And the medical profession are protecting the pharmaceutical companies by denying that there are any adverse side effects. The HSE itself, in my opinion, are acting disgracefully in that they don't provide the information leaflet that any one of us going into a pharmacy, if we purchase medication, will get an information leaflet explaining what the medication is, how it's to be used and what side effects are possible. And that particular information is not being provided to parents before they sign the consent forms, which they have to do in order to allow their young girls, as young as 12. And I know of one case. A girl, she's only 15. 3 days after she got the vaccination, she collapsed and she's in a psychiatric unit. This is an appalling vista. I couldn't believe what I was listening to. And the more I've delved into this, the more I believe that it is a national disgrace. And I am not, and I want to emphasise, calling for it to be stopped, because it's a benefit, it's shown as a benefit. But what I do want, and what I will continue to ask, and we on this side of the House will continue to ask for, is firstly that the full information is given as provided by the pharmaceutical company itself. At least that's a basic requirement, so that parents can make an informed choice, which the HSE has refused to do. They have their own leaflet out there, which is only whitewash. And the second point is that this particular vaccination, obviously, not just in Ireland, but worldwide, is having an serious adverse effect on the lives of our young girls. There are now over 100 at least identified in this country. Thank you, Cathaoirleach. There are at least 100, at least, have been identified in this country, and there are many more out there, parents who probably think that their daughter is unique, and yet they are part of this growing pattern. So I am putting it on notice that we are putting a motion into this House, and I hope it will get all party support.